As Vericherry was already saying, this game is Team Norway in red playing South Africa in black. And here we are about to start.
Very exciting. I think what's going to be really exciting with this game is there isn't actually tons of history to go on with these teams against each other or against loads of other teams. So what I'm saying is we don't know what's going to happen, which I mean is quite normal anyway. So we could just sit back and enjoy this amazing game of roller derby in front of us. You're with us on track 5, which is, just so you know, the hottest track on earth. It's like being inside a McDonald's apple pie. But here we go.
Yeah. Well, it's not completely correct. Those two teams have met each other in the Roller Derby World Cup 2014, where Norway played 219 points against South Africa 80, which is one of the only 5 matchups we had in the previous Roller Derby World Cups. So
I told you I didn't know what I was talking about. I was honest about that bit.
I'm very positive that you know a lot about roller derby, so we will make this stream enjoyable. And here we go, off we are, with Torture for Team Norway and Slamela Anderson for Team South Africa jamming. And the latter one is taking lead status here with a big smile on their face going around. And Torture still in the mix, had to be recycled back all the way, taking the inside line almost through. Cycled once again. In the meantime, Slamela Anderson already got 4 points.
They're not satisfied with having 0 points on the board. Torture coming through now. No, sorry, Mike, correction, just making their initial. Now they will be eligible to score, but they are not. Whilst they might be eligible, they were unable to score because South Africa's jammer came through, picked up another host of points, called it off. That is a very tasty first jam for our team in black.
Oh yeah, 8 points for South Africa, 0 for Team Norway.
And if my eyes do not deceive me, we have an empty penalty box. Your penalty box, of course, brought to you by Sisu Mouthguards. So we have nobody in the box and we have everybody out on track. And of course, as soon as I say that, we have a penalty being called, and not just any old penalty. It is a power jam in favour of Team Norway. So Hussy Galore is your active and only jammer on the track, Mia.
Yes, they are, and they face 2 blockers in the front as Norway is holding another Norwegian South African blocker back. And Hussy Galore is through, earning points already.
Nice pass there for Norway. Hussy coming through, grabbing another collection of points. Penalty issues racking up slightly now in the Sisu penalty boxes. We have another one of South Africa going for a sit down. So we are 1 apiece in the Sisu mouthguard penalty box. We have both of our jammers having a horrible time up against some beautiful defense. Where there is good, there is bad.
Yes, BB Skate is back. Oh no, there was a cut track penalty. And BB Skate has to go back to the Sisu penalty box, giving Hussy Galore another 30 seconds chance on track to capitalize on that power jam. Getting some offense from their friends there in turn 1.
Beautiful stuff there for Norway, as you said, really making the most of the time that's left on the clock as the power jam is still on. Sorry, I'm just trying to look over through literally every official that's on the track. I might stand up in a minute, get a better view. Why wouldn't you? Join me at home if you wish. And with Booty Queen putting in the last line of defence for South Africa at the front of the pack, Hussy Galore comes through now. Mia, 20 points on the board so far, and we're only in jam 2.
Yes, we are. That was a huge jam for Norway. 20 points earned just in that one jam. And if I see it correctly, South Africa did not make it through the initial pass here. So great work by the defense from Norway here.
So we've had 2 jams now. We've kind of had 1 great jam apiece. So now we're back to evens. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And once more, we're back to an empty Sisu mouthguard penalty box. So, yeah, let's see what we're going to have. We have got Zelfire for South Africa. We have Kiki Longskates for Team Norway. And who is that that's just grabbed lead?
Zelfire just grabbed lead. but Kiki Longskates also out of the initial. There were some whistles for a track cut penalty, but that was not the jump. No, it was the jammer.
It was, sadly. So we will be losing Zelfire for 30 seconds as they go for a seat in the Sisu mouthguard penalty box, which means whilst they grab lead, there is no lead anymore, and this jam will run for another 1 minute 20. Oof. What do you think about that? Would you want to jam for 1 minute 20? I feel like you would.
Those times are gone.
I bet we could still manage a few.
But Kiki making a good job here, just earning another 4 points here, quickly slicing through the pack with a lot of power, taking outside and then the inside again. And another 4 points. Wow. Norway already have 12 points on the board in that third jam.
And credit must go as well to the blockers here on track. So you just saw there, number 127 for Norway. Violent Viking, living up to their name, I have to say. Clearing that inside line just a smidge to get Kiki Longskates through. But they are doing some really great work. This 3-war, hopefully I can call out their names out in a second. Some really great stuff. Just splitting up the South Africa pack, which, as we know, if you're alone, you're alone.
Yes, and there is another power jam opportunity. As Selfire was coming back on track, they had done a forearm penalty, was sent back to the box immediately. So it looks like maybe that power jump will go through, also be the opportunity about 10 seconds to the next. And it's a second double penalty for South Africa for a jammer here.
Yeah, that's not going to be how they want to start the game. But the great thing is we've got loads more time left in this game with only 5 minutes already served in this first period. We have Team South Africa with 12 points. We have Norway with 45 points. And we've got plenty more time left to go in this game. And I can see, I think we are one apiece in the Sisu penalty box. However, one of them is the jammer.
Yeah, it's a power start, but jammer is already standing, so less than 10 seconds for South African jammer to come back.
But we didn't need 10 seconds for the Team Norway jammer to come through and grab lead.
Yeah, Jakovic slides through the pack, and now they took the inside line. There was a star pass to 0-0-1 from South Africa, but Norway then called it right away. Don't give away any points, don't risk it. They are in a good position right now to call off the jam and just be happy with the 4 points they earned, bringing them to 49 Team Norway against 12 from South Africa.
And what I'm loving is the big smiles that you can see on the faces of our skaters. We realised that we didn't have opportunity to do this skate team sheet. We'll do that at the next time out, or the first time out, sorry. So we're just enjoying looking at the skaters on track at the moment. And first time out, sorry, it's the 2 jammers that we had for the first jam of the game. So we have Torture versus Klamala Anderson. And as you know, Mia, who was lead jammer last time? It was South Africa in that first jam. I don't know if the fates are going to be the same, and they're not, because who's just grabbed lead jammer? Yeah,
nice skating on the outside and backwards, so I really appreciate always to have this lovely skating style, using all the whole of your body and turning around to be able. That's so great to see.
Super annoying for a blocker though, because you just don't know which bit of the body to go for. There's like all of it's there type of thing, but it is a fantastic skate skills to have, and we have been treated to fantastic skate skills in abundance today here at the Roller Derby World Cup 2025.
And Slammerer is out as well. But Norway just called it off in time, so no points for South Africa in that last jams, but 4 more points added for Norway, bringing them to 53. South Africa still sitting at 12 points here. But we still see smiles on all their faces, so I think everyone is enjoying their time on track, even if it's hard, but I think it's also like hot from inside, you know, like the excitement.
Yeah. And also everyone has been talking about how hot it is, but if you have been part of the roller derby community for more than like 2 minutes, you'll have been to somewhere hot to play or to watch or officiate roller derby, so we'll all be fine. But also, who is fine? BB Skate Meal, what have they been up to?
Yeah, quick lead there for South Africa, but Felina brought them back, so they had to cycle. But now they're through again for 4 points on the board for South Africa.
And I don't know if you can pick up any of the sounds from the crowd at home, but there was a massive cheer when BB Skate came through and grabbed lead jammer. Very popular here on the track.
Then they called it, earning another 2 points, adding to the board. 6 points in total for South Africa in that jam. 18 points in total. Norway also earned 4 points, bringing them to 57.
Yeah, lovely stuff for both of our teams. We are just taking a quick peek at the C2 penalty, mouthguard penalty box. We have one block of 4. Norway currently sat down and will be treated to, I believe this was the Zellfire Kiki Longstockings second jam matchup that we had, where Kiki grabbed a whole host of those points, but this doesn't look like the same start that we had, as it looks like Kiki is off to the C2 mouthguard penalty box, which means South Africa and Zellfire have the run of the track to themselves. An absolute day and night of the second jam when we saw these two jammers line up just a few minutes ago.
So now Zellfire has the opportunity to gain some points in a power jam, but they are sent to the box as well. I believe it's a track count penalty, so there will be a jammer swap in the CISO mouthguard penalty box. Kiki Long Skates is out and back on the track.
Now, if we recall again to the jam we had a couple of minutes ago, we had a double power jam, if I'm correct. I mean, it's up to you whether you think that's good or not, but let's see if that's on the cards, as both jammers not yet scored. So we have already had a minute of this jam and we have got no beans on the board.
No, and speaking about double jammer penalties, Kiki is sent back to the box. But South Africa is seizing the opportunity with a star pass here to 917 Iron Tyrant. And whoa, who's doing a great job?
One last line of defence to get past, but it is Viking once more. Honestly, one to watch for Team Norway if you weren't already. They are doing some absolutely, that's a chef's kiss down the microphone, of blocking for your very eyes today. They've also been wearing the star a bit, so I'm expecting some star passery at some point as well.
Star passery. It sounds a little bit like a nice dessert.
Yeah, like I couldn't fit a donut in, but give me a bit of star passery. Maybe with a bit of creme anglaise or whatever you're into. But as we're in Austria, it really should be strudel. Let's keep it local. Oh, and while we were talking about pudding, obviously I was distracted, and we had a star pass, and it was Viking, I believe, did grab the star, but the jam has come to an end. So we currently have on the scoreboard South Africa in the black, 25 points, Norway in the red, 59, 17 minutes left to go. But you've got a bit of a stat with a sad face next to it there, Mia.
Yeah, so all initial passes were completed by both teams in every jam, except one so far, that was jam 2 for South Africa. It's really rare, and I like the defense when you get the when the initial pass is not completed in that whole jam. So, Djakovic is your lead jammer here for Norway in that jam number 8. Big smile on their face when they pass around the crowd side. Now back in the pack, fighting a 2-wall-ish here in the front. Yes, and they're through, checking in with the bench and with their team. Is my defense holding? As Buck Off is also jamming for South Africa here.
This is the first time we've seen both of these jammers skating. I believe we did have a star pass before for Norway, and we are having a star pass now. So we have Blocknes Monster as your jammer for South Africa.
And Norway is calling it off here right away. Oh, interesting. From the stat side here, 50% lead status for each of the teams.
So it's like fair. Like when you get like a, if you were splitting that dessert that we were talking about earlier, everybody gets a bite. That's what we like. So it's been 4 apiece. Wonderful stats brought to us by Izzy, who has about 15 derby names. Which one would you like me to use right now?
Loud and queer.
Loud and queer.
Loud and
Here
queer.
she is helping us out.
Okay, so as we are looking to the track, we can't track the stats, so we are very happy to have a producer next to us, providing it us. So it's a team behind the stream.
It takes a village, folks. It takes a village. And we are back to Jam 1. We have Torture versus Slamela Andersen out on the track. It is Torture, who was your lead jammer for Norway, coming right around just in front of us. We could wave at you. Picking up 3 points for Norway, taking them to 72.
Very nice timed call off there by Torture. I'm okay with just 3 points. The fourth point of the blocker in front is not worth risking that the other team earns points as well. So I will call it here. That's a high-level derby to know exactly where you are, exactly to know where the other jammer is, and what are you capable of, or is it worth it, the risk? No,
or are you just being greedy? You don't need that extra one. Put it back. There'll be room for later.
Exactly.
I believe we've had lead called to BB Skate, who was still stuck in the pack but has made their way through. So Hussy Galore is at the front of the pack and belting their way around track 5 at the moment. But it is number 94, your skater for South Africa, who was in the lead. Tap of the hips, calls it off. And again, going back to that smart and clever jamming, if you're at the back, you're probably not going to score the points that you want to, or the points differentiation that you want to. So put it back, put the biscuit back in the tin. You're not having it. Come back later. All of my analogies are food-based. That's just I should have done the warning at the start.
It's very rare in Derby that you made food references, isn't it?
Alrighty then, we have been treated to some beautiful defense. These tripods have been activated once more. Very slow action here at the top of the track 5. But it is Bug Off for South Africa, who comes through and grabs a much wanted lead for South Africa, as currently they've only scored in 4 of the 10 jams. So once with this lead, and I think Bug Off has just done a wonderful demo for us, comes through, grabs a load of points, called it off.
And now they have 5 out of 11 jams scored. But also Norway managed to snitch 1 point there in the back, bringing Norway to 73, and South Africa with that 4 more points to 29. We have a little bit more than 13 minutes to go in that first half. Slamela Andersen here for Team South Africa against Torture from Team Norway. Torture in the front gets a little help from 4-5-5 Rosie de Runa, and they're through. Lead status for Team Norway here. Star is off and in hand by Slamela Andersen. So making also the Norwegian team to focus on the pivot, but that focus wasn't enough. So Star pass here to Block Nest Monster. Torture is calling it off, taking the 4 points.
And I have to give a massive shout to number 44, Susie Quantro for South Africa, who's doing some beautiful blocking at the front. So I've got a blocker favourite now on each team. So I've got Violent Viking and Susie Quantro doing some beautiful work. Often the last line of defence, often the one holding up the tripod. But with Viking now on the track, I don't know if I'm going to see them against each other. But we've got plenty more jams and plenty more days for that to potentially happen.
All right. So, Hussy Galore in front, fighting the last line of 2 South African blockers, and now earned lead status for Norway coming around. In the meanwhile, Iron Tyrant still in the pack, but I think that was a star pass happened already. Do I see it correctly? Yeah, Iron has the star in hand and is a pivot turned jammer, but I couldn't really tell the difference as Iron is moving like a jammer, you know? That was the kinds of pivot who are mostly blockers, but it takes a star and they're like former jammers-ish, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was. Yeah, now we have 2-3-1 Selfire. Okay, let's go back for a second. Iron Tyrant started the jam and handed over to Selfire, but Selfire was also jamming before, so they have a very flexible jammer lineup, right?
Oh,
so
I like the way you said that.
Yeah, they are also having jammers blocking jams. Oh, that is beautiful. If you can play all roles, The only thing is that you have to mentally switch
Yes.
between locking and jamming to two different things, right?
And then remember the times when you're not the jammer and you can't just do what you want on the track type of thing. I appreciate jammers can't do everything that they want on the track, but you know what I mean. You're allowed to be out of play and all that jazz. All right, then. So we see, and you're going to have to help me with the pronunciation here. Djokovic. Lovely. For Norway is jamming and it's got a little bit stuck at the back of the pack thanks to some beautiful blocking there from number 5, Blockness Monster, who we just saw take a star pass a couple of jams ago for South Africa. So another one of these double threat players that we've been speaking of. And it's Bugoff who is lead for South Africa. South Africa definitely needing a slight turn of fortune as they, as we see Norway out in the lead at 89 points.
Back off, Ross brought back by, also Viking, but by the Norwegian defense and decided to call that jam off. 2 points. As we spoke earlier, right? Like, is it worse to risk points by the opponents or then check in with the bench that can just take a millisecond and then they call it?
Yeah, I love to see the strategy and the communication between bench and jammer and all those types of things. And then I love it when sometimes the jammer ignores the bench.
You love it? Well,
yes. I love the drama. Laura Queer just said that's because you do it. It's been a long time since I did any jamming, babes. I think we're all good for that. But doing some absolutely fantastic jamming. Slamela Anderson once more out for South Africa in the black, doing some beautiful work. Absolute force of nature, tearing around the track, and look at that big happy face.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see here. Let's see on Sunday what the happy faces look like after 4 days of roller derby. But if this World Cup is like any other that we've seen, I think we're going to have happy faces all the way to the end.
Very true. Can I go back for a second to to the point with the bench check-in?
Yes.
Well, as I was jamming for more than 10 years, I can tell you, you put your brain where the bench is. You do your automatic jamming on track and you check in with the bench and they know the best. They have the overview about what's happening, score, points, whatever, penalty box. They will tell you to call or to run it. You don't have to make that call yourself or to judge it. It will take you too long. 2 or 3 seconds, no brain. No brain as jammer, you just jam. That's your job, one job, and get it done.
Do you know what's going to happen now? Bench coaches around the globe, Mia, are going to be clipping that little bit. They're going to be playing it at practice. They're going to be sending it out in the WhatsApp groups to the jammers, being like,
See,
bit of this.
It was set on stream, so it must be true.
And then they're going to do, you know, when people write in a team message and they just put like, as above, agreed.
Mia Missile said that on stream.
Bench coaches of the world have just sent you 10 house points.
Okay, thank you. But back on track, we have another jam coming up. Hussey Galore for Team Norway against BB Skate from South Africa. And it's Hussey who takes the lead here, while BB Skate was cycled out and brought back by 1-0. Tits and Acid from Norway. Wow, nice footwork here, going diagonally, juking inside, outside from Hussey, picking up that 4 points. BB Skate still fighting against a really strong Norwegian wall here in the back. Right now, not getting some offense help from their friends.
But Norway are losing a skater to the C2 penalty box, number 10. I think that is Tits and Acid, what a name, going to the penalty box. Did a bit of offensive. They'll be sitting down into the next jam. But we now have, with 12 lovely big fat juicy points picked up by Norway in that jam, we have our first century of the game. Yay. I like to do a little high five, a little slap of the century. If you are sat next to somebody who is happy for a high five, then please do. If you're sat alone, high five the mirror, high five the dog.
High five yourself.
High five yourself. Oh, I love that. Honestly, you are. I'm going to do a left-handed one. Oh, yeah. Oh, shout out for the left-handers. 10% of the world, that's us.
Okay, we have Djokovic for Norway on track against a buck off from South Africa in that jam number 17. And it's buck off who earns lead status here.
has a little time to check in with not just the bench coach, but the audience to give a little thumbs up. Love a bit of that. And not only are they checking in with the bench coach and having a great time, they're having a power jam because we see...
Djokovic.
Oh, you're so good at this.
No, I checked in with the Norwegian bench before. You have one job.
I've genuinely tried to practice it. I do apologise. Wonderful.
I hope I pronounce it correctly. But in the meantime, I think we missed a beautiful, nice apex jumps by Buck off on the inside. Unfortunately, falling on their knees and sliding out to the outside. Then taking the outside of the track because Norway is so smart to recycle them all the way back. And Djokovic just out of the box, still with star in hand, did not finish the initial pass in that last jam, but South Africa, in the meantime, earned 4 points here, bringing them to 44, Team Norway 101? 101?
Lovely.
101, Team Norway.
I've just phonetically written down number 6, Djokovic. So we'll be back with you. Right, we have our first timeout of the game, which means we can finally do the team sheet. Do you want to kick us off with Norway?
Yeah, I would try Norway. So we have 1-0, Tits and Acids, 108, Kiki Long Skates, 1-7, Violent Viking, 1-5, Hannah Hartnett, 2, Feline, 2-1, S-Guardian, 2-5-2, Winterwolf, 3-3-3, Overkill, 4-2, Pantabina, 4-5-5, Rosie Zaruna, 6, Djokovic, 7-3, Doodle, 7-9, Torture, 8, Hersey Galore, 8-9, Live and Let Die, and 9-3-3, Baus.
Wonderful. And we have your team in black. It is South Africa. And they are made up of 0-0-0, Booty Queen, 0-0-1, Bug Off, 0-1-2, Bully Beef, 1-1-1-1, Cataclysm, 2-1-2, Dolly Spartan, 2-3-1, Zelfire, 32, iMall, 360 is Defibrillator, number 44, Susie Quanto, number 5, Block Nez Monster, 508, Slamla Anderson, 666, Diablo, 677, Slam I Slam, Sam I Slam, 917, Iron Tyrant, and number 94, BB Skate. And that is South Africa in the black.
Just in time before there is a 5-second warning whistle.
And it sounds like in the house we have a lovely mixture of support here. I don't know what the chant is for which team, but there's flags for both and I love seeing it.
Oh wow, Slamela Anderson just took the middle because South Africa was so good to just shuttle them to the inside and the outside and almost through. Big hit, but Slamela living up to the name, getting back on track again.
Oh, I think they may have just had a little knock there, just going into the middle. So just going to double check if the jam was called off. Did they call off the jam? I love this stuff.
Yeah, they did. Also 3 points. Maybe that last hit hurt a little bit, but a Norwegian jammer is in the penalty box, so this will be a power start. I think about like 20 seconds-ish at least. They're still sitting in the box. So we have BB Skates for South Africa.
I'm excited to see the offense now for South Africa. We have, let me just take a look, we are getting 360, which is Defibrillator being sent to the Sisu penalty box. But we have the wonderful BB Skate coming through, grabbed lead. Power Jam is still in their favour. We can see Kiki stood up in the Sisu mouthguard penalty box, so we'll be out on track with us in a minute. And for Norway, it's great because the pack is right by that penalty box, as we see BB being recycled to the back of the pack. And I bet I don't even need to look at which blocker did that. It was violent.
And Kiki now also out and can earn points, but it is a power jam. Oh, BB Skate went to the box. Now it's Kiki's turn, and they make 4 points here just on the inside line, make it look easy to pass.
We are
beautiful. Sorry.
No, you're all good. That was a beautiful hit there.
Yeah, that was a well-timed offense by Norway, but I think it's Block Nez Monster who was behind it and just hit out Kiki, who had then to recycle. But anyway, they made it through. 4 more points on the board for Norway here.
And we have everybody out of the CC Mouthguard penalty box. So we have all of our jammers and all of our blockers on the track at the moment. We have 8 points being put up by Norway. South Africa's still been held on 0. Of course, as I say that, Mia, South Africa pick up 4 points. We love a bit of that. Everyone scored in this jam so far. No lead, so we still have 25 seconds left to go.
Yeah, nice skating by BB Skate. The round before on toe stops on the outside, and now here taking the inside. Great.
And what I love there, it looked like we had Nez Monster, just checking that Kiki was okay before they went in to do the defense. I love a little bit of the sportspersonship. Not even a little bit, I love all of it. Give me more. Love it. All right.
Was a real, I would say it's a highest scoring jam. Well, no, it's not, because Norway did make the second jam.
Big fat one at the start, wasn't there?
But since then, thank you. Since then, 12 points earned by Team Norway, bringing them to 113, and 10 points also on the board for South Africa, bringing them to 57, and a little bit more than 2 minutes in that first half. And we have an official timeout here. They're taking care of looks like injured skater on the sideline. So, but that's none of our business.
And their game will be getting underway. It looks like one of the skaters went to the outside, I think by their own accord, and they've just called an official timeout to allow them return to the team bench.
And the next jam, number 20, is on with a back off for South Africa. Gaining lead status here. Meanwhile, no, there is a track cut penalty for a Norwegian jammer, giving back off this 30 seconds opportunity to be the solo jammer on track, looking out, and there is some nice offense there on the inside. No opportunity there for Norwegian blockers to get to them. So quick earned 4 points. Let's see the next scoring pass. Approaching on the outside. Really juking here and there. Last line of defense, 2-4-2 Winterwolf. Just a second to that the Norwegian tripod in the front was reforming. Now Bagoff is looking for an opportunity here to break through that wall, and Hesse is taking that opportunity there to just path on the inside line. Star back on helmet. Nice call off. No points for Norway, even if that looked like great. 8 points for South Africa here, bringing them to 65. Norway still sitting at 113.
Yeah, so this game really seems to be like expanding in the heat, perhaps. Every time I look at the scoreboard, I'm like, oh, Norway have got right ahead, and then South Africa were really tightening it up behind. So we only have a couple of minutes. In fact, we only have probably this one last jam left, because the period clock is at 59 seconds. And then we have a whole other half to see what's going on. And we also get treated to Sam Landerson doing a little bit of toe-stop dancing, like they haven't got enough to do today.
Right? Some energy left for the last minute of the first half. Tartre is through for Norway, playing in red. And now on the turn pass. Oh, there it was a star pass in South Africa. Slam took the star. Pivot turn jammer, bad Tartre, called it off right away. So we will probably eventually having another jam in at halftime. Let's see if the benches decide to take a timeout. Oh, I see an official review by South Africa.
And I believe that official review is, I was going to say I thought was being used as a timeout, but we'll find out, because our wonderful house announcer has gone into the middle to find out what's going on, and they will report back to us, which means you and I can just sit here. We haven't got to do anything. Love a bit of that. We could do a sponsor read. That would be really helpful. You are right, Sarah.
Thank you for doing my job for me.
All right, guys. First game of the day. Just warming into it. Official voice. We are being sponsored by the S1 Helmet Company. The S1 Lifer helmet is the best fit and best protection, which equals made for roller derby. Get a lifer, be a lifer. S1 helmets and pads protecting roller derby since 2016. Visit s1helmets.com.
Oh, it is 2006.
What did I say,
there.
16?
16.
Did
yeah.
I? Sorry.
Yeah, so 10 more years of experience that is brought to you by S1 Helmets to really protect you when playing this full contact sports.
Oh yeah, it just said 2006. I read 16. Oh, gosh, it's the heat. I'm not used to it. I'm from the middle of England. We don't have heat like this.
It's because you're a golf fan.
It's very warm. But you know what? We are being looked after absolutely fantastically by our beautiful host league here in Innsbruck. We have the beautiful Fearless Bruisers, and we are here on Track 5, which is where the Fearless Bruisers will normally have their home games. So you may well have been here. You may well have seen this on the internet. You may well have played a game here. Have any of you played a game here?
No.
All right, well,
But German and Austrian sports hall look kind of the same-ish. So the setup is, for me, it feels like I've played here, even if I haven't. And the wooden floor, I can already feel the wooden floor, like if I would have skates on, how it's. Wood is like, after polished concrete, the best floor you can have. So.
Does it make you want to just jump up and join in?
Yeah, totally. Okay, here we are. Probably last jam. Djokovic from Team Norway against BB Skate from South Africa. On track here, BB Skate was recycled back on the inside line. Meanwhile, Djokovic in the front and out, lead status, but BB Skate right behind them.
Yeah, BB Skate is absolutely storming around this track now. We see South Africa trying to slow the pack down, but, where's my pronunciation gone? Djokovic, little inside apex jump, comes through, grabs 4 points for Norway. The whistle has gone for intermission, so we are on 65 for South Africa, 121 for Norway, and you have a little stat there that you'd like to share.
Yes, our producer shared with us the outcome of the official review. So South Africa wanted a high block called, but the no call stands.
So here we are. All right, you folks, hello, it's lovely to see you all. We will be back with you in around 14 minutes. Hydrate, refresh yourself. What else could they be doing in the half time?
Breeze through, just relax.
Oh, I like it.
At least like 3 times.
Maybe a downward dog, if you want.
Yeah, and then a pigeon and a...
Oh, I like a pigeon.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. Well, we're going to go and do some yoga, and we'll be back with you 15 minutes more flexible.
Yes. See you later.
Roller derby is a great emancipator. It's the place where like-minded people gather. It makes me feel powerful and strong when I'm able to jump through the different blockers or do a spin move.
Roller derby helped me remember that I'm an athlete. Roller derby allowed me to feel proud of my size and feel confident with the way I move and just be really proud to be the size and the shape that I am.
That I'm just gonna have a safe space to create and just spill my joy onto the track for everybody to see.
Scald Eagle was always inside pre-derby, but actually getting into roller derby allowed me the space to like amplify that part of my personality.
I often play for the little 14-year-old Lauren inside of me, and I try to make her proud.
I love roller derby.
First rule of Sisu is, wearing a mouth guard is cool. Say the word. Sisu! Second rule of Sisu is, use a thin mouth guard, not a big old gummy one. Say the word. Sisu! Third rule, pick your Sisu style. Fourth rule, talk, breathe, drink, easily. Sisu, Sisu, Sisu! The final rule of Sisu is, unlike others, you've got up to 20 times to remold it. Who's got Sisu? Sisu!
They call it a sport, but we know better. It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, every body. we've got you covered.
Back again on track 5, game 15 of this roller derby World Cup. Team Norway is playing in red and South Africa in black, and we have some beautiful stats from our producer over here. So let's go.
Yeah.
So the most scoring or average scoring jammer from Norway was 108, kicking long skates with an average of 9.5 points per jam, and the best from South Africa was with 4.4 scores, points per jam was 001 buck off, and 5 jammer penalties for Norway so far, 6 jammer penalties for South Africa. We had some scoreless jams, 7 for Norway, 11 for South Africa.
Ooh, I'll add some sound effects in. And we've only not completed the initial once, and that was for South Africa, and Norway have only not completed the initial twice. So we were just saying off air that I think there was just one jam where it took a little while to get a lead called, and the rest of the time it's been very very efficient, I have to say. I like the efficiency that's going on here. We're not hanging around, we're not waiting at the back, we're not dawdling like everyone at the airport did on the way here. I'm over it now, it's fine, but I'm just saying there were some dawdlers and we didn't need it.
Yeah.
We had stuff to do. We had to get in and talk about roller derby. Anyway, sorry. I sound like I'm a ranting old lady. Anyway, you are joined here, as you said, Mia. It is game 15, as if there's already been 14 other games here at the Roller Derby World Cup here in beautiful Innsbruck, Austria. I honestly cannot believe how gorgeous this place is.
It's amazing. The Olympia World, I mean, as you know, we have 5 tracks here simultaneously playing games, so to squeeze everything into that 4 days time span. And yeah, it's a lovely city, and it's so great to see people from all around the world that you're hugging. There was one from Norway coming to me and saying, though, you might not remember, but like 10 years ago we met there, and like it's so good to see you again. And I bet for you it's the same to have all those posing, all the derby hugs.
Yeah, I mean, I have to sit next to Izzy quite a bit, but you know, I get over that. I'm only joking. It's beautiful to have you here, and you'll live. And it's wonderful to have you all here. And of course, we have been sponsored by some fantastic people. We have Sisu Mouse Guards sponsoring our penalty box, the WFTDI, that's the insurance for the jam line, and Crash Course are sponsoring our team time out. But what is happening on the track, Mia?
Yeah, Hasse Galore picked up lead status for Team Norway, and there was a penalty for Slamhella Anderson, South Africa, who is now sitting in the CISO penalty box, giving Hasse the opportunity for 13 seconds, being the only jammer on track, getting some offense help there from their friends, going through the inside line.
Last line of defence there, Susie Quattro, one that I called out in the first period, doing some fantastic blocking at the front. Loving their work, but I do feel South Africa just need to kind of get, and here we are, getting back together, just clinching that tripod together a little bit more seamlessly. Obviously, they could hear my coaching prowess across the track as they've got that tripod together. Oh my God, being led there by Booty Queen, beautiful work.
Nice work also in the back by Norwegian. Tits and Acids is there, the blocker holding South African jammer there. Star in hand, attempting a star pass, but blocked out on the inside line, brought back and has to face again that wall. Meanwhile, Hersey through for another 4 points picked up there. Oh, last line of defense, number 2, Filina from Norway. But star pass successful to number 4, Susie Quattro here. But called off by Hersey just in time. Oh, big jam for Norway here to start the second half. 16 points on the board for Norway, brings them to 137. South Africa still 65.
And that was your biggest jam score since jam number 3. Lovely stats there, loud and queer. Thank you very much. It's lovely to have you. It's lovely to sit next to you.
You're not next to me.
Alrighty then, we have a lovely empty Sisu mouthguard penalty box, and we have all of our skaters up on the track and just about to cross the WFTDI. I thought it was the pivot line, I'm being an idiot. They've been recycled back to the WFTDI jam line. Yes, getting a sponsor reading and explaining the gameplay at the same time. We have Torture round the outside, desperately trying to get past that last line of defence. Lead has already gone to Torture, but while we have a star pass over to BB Skate, Torture comes through and calls off the jam. I think what I'll do is I'll concentrate on one thing. I tried to retract my statement against sitting next to Loud and Queer, and do a sponsor read and talk about the game. I obviously cannot manage 3 things at once, so let's just chill it out.
One job.
Mia saved me. Come on.
So back off 0-0-1 for South Africa on the jam line, just right behind number 6, Djakovic.
Look at that tripod that South Africa put together there. We saw Norway kind of going around the outside and South Africa really pushing that tripod back off. I'm pretty sure that is 360, yes, defibrillator at the front of the pack. And whilst Djakovic has got through for lead, it did take a lot longer than we have seen in other jams So credit, of course, goes to the blockers.
Back
Norway.
off. Yeah.
So we both just took a little second then and then went, oh.
Yeah, beautiful job by Norwegian blockers to bring back off, to had to recycle and face that wall again, fighting through a last line of defense there. Booty Queen has to be passed. Oh, they have earning another 4 points here in the jam, but with star in hand, back off is also through and now eligible to score points.
So now here's a tricky moment for a jammer / bench coach pair up. We had, well, here we go, it's over now, but we had 2 blockers in the penalty box. So do you call off the jam and ice them with your own players, or do you spring them and let them go? But they came out, so
yeah,
we'll come back to that analogy if it presents itself to us once more. 6 points picked up there for Norway, taking them to 143. South Africa with 65 points. 5 minutes already gone in the second period. And I can see once more a beautiful South African tripod creating itself at the back of the pack on the WFTDI jam line.
New jammer.
What was also nice about jam rep for Spain to checking in with the OPR if that hips were really passed, so giving that 2 points. But now we have a new jammer on the line for South Africa. Iron Tyrant is now facing Hesigalor. Correct me if I'm wrong, Iron Tyrant was also pivoting in the first half.
Yeah, lots of pivoting from themselves. I don't think we saw them take a star pass, so lovely to see them out jamming in their own lane, if you will.
And earning 4 points.
And then look at this, Norway at the back of the pack, absolutely like Wonder Woman pose soup, all taking the WFTDI jam line at the back, not allowing South Africa to grab in. So will we see South Africa move forward and create a tripod, or are they just going to like shove their hips in the gaps?
Yeah, they took the second option, just using the other wall there, but it didn't work out as they may wanted. Torture took lead status here, checking in with the mirror bench. They should keep on going, and that pays off. Quick earned 4 points here with beautiful footwork and toe stops. Meanwhile, BB Skate from South Africa took off the star in hand, and there was a quick star pass. Nice, Susie Quattro, number 4 is now your pivot turn jammer, but the jam is called off in time by Team Norway. So it's an 8-0 jam, 151 for Team Norway. South Africa has 69 points.
And we were treated to some beautiful defence there from number 2 in the red for Norway. That's Feline. Again, taking that inside space, and that inside line, so and absolutely dominating that space. It's so tempting as a blocker. I'm not saying, like, I know what I'm talking about too much. It's so tempting as a blocker when you see something else going on to go over there and join the party. But themselves, and we've seen Susie doing it for South Africa, but just holding that inside line and being like, I have one job, I will defend. And I love a bit of that. And I also love Power Jam.
Djokovic sent to the Cecil Mousegard penalty box. 30 seconds. Oh, and now there's another track cut penalty for Slamila Anderson. Has to report to the box, and we will have a jammer swap. This means...
No, sorry to interrupt. That looks like that's been overruled as like a no pass, no penalty.
Oh, wow.
So we see Slamila Anderson back out on the track. Yes, they've lost a couple of seconds, but they're not sitting down in the Sisu guard's penalty box, which is what they're going to be very happy about. But it did mean that the time was ticking. So number 6, Djokovic, is back out on the track. The Power Jam's over. Whew. And there we go. We see Slamila Anderson coming through and grabbing points for South Africa. And they are still in the lead jam position.
And Viking took the star for Norway. Pivot turn jammer, but South Africa from not sent to the box to earning lead status, you know, from the worst to the best.
Love a bit of that.
Just calling the last jam on time, so that Norway did not get any points here. And it was actually the first star pass from Norway. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm just saying.
I would never lie to you.
The stats don't lie. That's why they're stats. You can't argue with them. It's not a horoscope. It's stats.
Yeah. Science doesn't care what you believe.
Oh. You two are a match made in heaven, I have to say.
It's not from me, so it's a quote. Okay, Norway, Hessegalore taking lead for Norway and a back off for South Africa. Still in the mix, but I think there was a star pass happening. Nice, Booty Queen has now the star for South Africa. Big smile on their face.
Love that. I think that's the first time we've seen Booty Queen taking the star as well. Maybe first or second?
It was second.
Oh, I think they took a very quick one, didn't they, at one point? So
yeah, it was just before a call of the last one. So 1 point here for Norway. 1 more point, yeah. I have to correct myself because there were 4 already earned in the past before. 156 for Norway, 76 for South Africa, and we still have 20 minutes to play, so there will be plenty of jams we can enjoy together.
Oh, so poetic. I love it.
Thank you, and it's not my first language.
You're absolutely smashing it. I'm doing a perfect job.
Like on track.
All right, don't be milking it now.
Okay, it's not about us. It's about the people here on track. Norway in red versus South Africa in black. And Torture picking up lead there for Norway.
Big cheer went up in the house there for Torture. I don't know if it's all Norway or just all Torture fans, but whenever they do something big on the track, there is a lovely big cheer here in the house. And oh look, South Africa tripod has come back.
Yeah, and you see Iron Tyrant there as a brace for South Africa. Pivot, so as suspected, not only jamming but also blocking there. And there was a multiplayer penalty issued, unfortunately, but anyway, beautiful work there. And we had another star pass to 917 Iron Tyrant, just speaking of them a second before.
All right, then, we have been treated to some fantastic roller derby, but we would not be able to do this without many things, and one of those many things is your sponsors. And we are being sponsored here by Double Threat Skates. I'm sure you know who they are, but let me tell you about them anyway. They were established in 2013. And they have said, we are one of Europe's most trusted roller derby shops, owned by Kitty from London Roller Derby. Every single one of us working in the shop plays roller derby, and I quote, "We are cool." So go check them out. Loud and Queer says, yeah, they are very cool. There you go, a personal recommendation.
Cool is also Djokovic earning lead for Norway. Just going through the pack here. Good segue, yeah, thank you. Well, recycled on the outside, has to get back into the pack, but now sneaky inside. 4 points earned for that. And correct me if I'm wrong, Selfire still in the mix?
I believe so, and we are getting ever so close to a 100-point lead. And with work like that from Djokovic, I think that we are very close to that 100-point lead. In fact, we're only 6 points away. So we had got the game a little bit tighter, but Norway really are dominating on the track at the moment. And we have 17 minutes left to go in this game. 2 more points to go until we are in a 100-point lead for Norway. But I'm pretty sure South Africa are going to show absolutely no signs of slowing down. And they're not going to give this one up without a fight.
Yeah, we've had a star pass
Oh, star pass happened. Oh, that's beautiful. Now, Booty Queen with the star in hand, pivot turn jammer, is eligible to leave the engagement zone and bring Djokovic all the way back off the track and play around a little bit to cut off some seconds from the board.
And now Booty Queen is trying to become, well, they obviously are the jammers. The jammer's hand from the star pass goes back into jammer mode, but with Djokovic coming back around the track, I think they're going to need to flip back into blocker mode. They are at the back of the pack, goes for the hip shot, but your jammer there, number 6, round the outside. Beautiful, fast work from our jammer, and picks up more points on the board. So we currently have South Africa unable to pick up any points in that jam, but Norway picking up 23 lovely points in that jam, taking them to 185. So we have surpassed the 100 mark lead now, and Norway really are showing some real old dominance in this game.
But also South Africa, very good. They have already 5 star passes. Is this half to like, okay, our jammer is not coming through. Let's use the star pass to cut off the bleeding in a way, as they are, well, more or less calling it off at all times.
I'm sure there's like a little bit of a saying, like if you can't get the body out, get the star out, or something like that, you know. I mean, you probably wouldn't know, because you were probably like straight through. I say that as if like I've never seen you play.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, 4 points for Slamela Anderson here. 2 points by Norway, even if Norway had lead. So that's like a, damn it, who made them slip through. Yeah, however that happens, at that score differential, you can be okay with that. Just cut it off. Next jam is gonna happen, and it's new jam.
All right then, so we have one blocker from South Africa in the Sisu Guards penalty box. We have 2 for Norway, but it does not matter for Torture, as they are through, grabbing lead in milliseconds, as we see bug off for South Africa charging around this track number 5, home of the House of Bruisers. Because it's the home of the Fearless Bruisers. And they got to name the track because it's their house.
Yeah, and in the last jam, nice offense by Blockness Monster, and then immediately switching to defense against the Norwegian jammer. I think it's really hard when you're like in a defense mode, but you have to switch in a second, and then you have to switch back in a second. So you have to reevaluate like every moment to know where your other teammates are, to know where the other jammer are. So great work there by South African blocker Blockness Monster.
And we've got some lovely stats for South Africa, and we've also got some wonderful things. We asked a load of our teams before they came here for the Roller Derby World Cup about what this means to you. And I'm just going to read this out while we just let this jam play out. So what does it mean for you for Team South Africa, as we just see Norway grabbing a lead here? They said for some, it's a beautiful final chapter, a last hurrah in their derby journeys. For others, it's the beginning of something extraordinary, a bold first and step onto the international stage. And we absolutely love that for them. Whether it's your first or your last, or somewhere in the middle, it's wonderful to have you here on this wonderful game of roller derby, as we see South Africa with 80 points, Team Norway with 194, and we have 13 minutes left to go in this game.
So Norway just 6 points away from the 200 mark.
Ooh, that means we get to do a double high five.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
And we are in a team timeout, being called by, I believe it's South Africa. They are having their crash course team timeout, which means it's a perfect opportunity for us to introduce you to our officials.
Yes, so as non-skating, or as head NSO Alex and as head ref Sector, we have the non-skating officials: Chemical Restraint, Dos Vosgård, Julian, Lotte Havoc, Molly Golightly, Mina Harker, Otter Chaos, Pussy Panzerfaust, Pyro, Seslord, and Scapegoat.
Pronunciations were on point there. And reffing on skates today, we have effing ref Jean Quad Grand Slam, Mansplainer Mac. This is one I'm not too sure on how I'm going to say this. So, Pajari?
I would go with Pajari.
We went with that earlier when we ran through it.
If we're wrong.
We have Reflex, we have Sweet KRs and Sweet Zoster, and we have Valkyra, and they are your wonderful officials off and on the track. And we thank you very much for giving up your time, sharing your skills with us, and being a volunteer here at the 2025 Roller Derby World Cup in Innsbruck, Austria, brought to you by the Fearless Bruisers. Hello. I didn't know how I was going to end that then.
So all of them bringing safety and fairness, as well as the volunteers who are repairing the track and sweeping off the sweat from the floor for the next jam. Back off South Africa, Hersey Galore for Norway. I think it's a matchup we saw already. There's Hersey taking a lead on the outside. And Norwegians number 2, Felina, is making it very hard for Buck off, but they are also out of the pack.
Nice big loud clear there for the mirror bench for Norway, telling
Hussey,
thank you. I was like, it's not gone off the board. Who was jamming to call that off? A lovely, nice hit it and quit it there.
Yeah, but have you seen, or have you noticed, like they were looking for another 2-3 seconds just till South African jammer was approaching the wall. So they cut off another 5 seconds of the time.
Nice. So South Africa with the advantage from the Sisu guards penalty box, but it is torture for Norway, who come out. Just 2 points needed to get them to that 200 mark. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going a bit wild here. At this stage, I don't think the points are massively critical. It's a win or lose situ to see where you go on to the next day.
But it's the ratio as well.
Yeah, so the ratio counts as well, but for the seeding for tomorrow, I think it's a win or loss. Yeah. But
but it helps to have it in your pocket, doesn't it? If you've got a nice big win.
Yeah. I mean, in the seeding, to be seeded, it counts. Well, we have our producer here who might explain it to us.
I think so it's win-loss.
And we see Torture coming through, grabbing those points there that take Norway to the 205 mark. And Torture coming through now. Last line of defence, number 677, Slamo Slam. Trying to deny Torture coming through, but Torture comes through because they want to, picking up 11 points, getting Norway to 209.
I think we had a star pass to Diabolo here, who was the first time taking a star as a pivot. And is through as well.
Torture coming around the outside, meets the hips of Iron Tyrant, looks over to the jam ref and calls off that jam, picking up 15 points in the process for Norway.
I don't know what Norway was talking about on the bench in the halftime, or if they had some beautiful Austrian pastry. So they had 12 of 14 leads this half. The star pastry.
The star passery.
Doesn't
sound as nice.
Yes. Sessy's at walk.
So we see one apiece in the Sisu guard penalty box. Both of our jammers coming up against some beautiful defense. You know, the triangle, the tripod, whatever it is you call it, it's a classic for a reason. You can't mess with it. It's like a chicken tikka masala. We like it, we enjoy it.
I would say it's the base of every roller derby pastry. And we have lead for BB Skate from South Africa. Now going in hard on the outside. Oh, nice footwork, staying inside to pick up.
Did they stay inside?
Yeah, yes. I hope that are all the 4 points. There. Jamref is checking in with OPR. I really like that.
You gotta get it right. I mean, there were toe stops all over the shop, but let's just double check to see where they were. I mean, either way, the display of skill was high. Let's just make sure it was accurate. Oh, denied. We see the goose egg in the air, denied those points, but they're in our hearts.
Yes.
I think she was straddling the line.
Is this just explain with the fingers what just happened? Straddling is what happened. But there was no penalty, so it's lovely. Just, those points that left out there.
New jam.
New jam, new day. So we have Hussey Galore versus Slamla Anderson. We only have 9 minutes left to go in this game, and those triangles are back in play now. Norway, you can see, really sort of crushing the South Africa jammer down, whereas South Africa have gone more for the sort of stood-up approach to try and hold the jammer, but it is Hussey Galore, and they are not an easy jammer to contain.
Star pass happening from South Africa to Iron Tyrant. Pivot turn jammer.
But it is Hussegalore who is your lead jammer for Norway and calls off the jam. Not before picking up a little host of points there for Norway. As we see 80 points for South Africa, 217 for Norway. And then let's have a little look over. We have one for South Africa in the Sisu Guards penalty box, so Norway will have the track advantage as we go into jam number 16 of period number 2.
Norway starting off the WFTDI jam line with a South African wall in the front. Torches taking advantage of it and through lead jammer status for Norway. Self-fight still in the mix. Norway is losing one blocker to the box, maybe making it a little bit easier for Selfire to go through there.
Oh, Booty Queen trying to get those booty hips in the way, but Torture just too fast up that inside line there. Comes through on another scoring pass. 8 points already on the board.
And there she goes around Felina, number 2, last blocker from Norway to pass. And Selfire is out as well and can now... here we are again. So Norway is quite good in calling it off right away to not let them make any points. Meanwhile, Norway has scored 3 points, or added 3 points. Well, 11 points in total for that last jam, bringing Norway to 228 and South Africa 80 points. So they left scoreless. They left South Africa scoreless for seven jams.
Ooh,
wow,
that's gonna sting.
Oh.
So with just 6 minutes left to go in this game, fast, explosive start from both of our jammers, and it is Kiki who comes through, grabbing lead. Very big cheer in the house as Bugoff is chasing them around this track number 5 as Kiki comes through. Round the outside, South Africa unable to get that tripod back into play, comes through, and we see 3 points going on the board for South Africa, but I await to see how many points are going on the board for Norway. Once more, we see our wonderful officials checking in with each other, assuring that they are correct. We see 2 for Norway, so Team Africa winning that jam, and as you were just saying, Mia, much needed end to that sort of drought of scoreless jams that we were just going through.
Yes.
So lovely stuff for South Africa there. As we see 2 standing up, 2 in the penalty box for Norway, enjoying the Sisu hospitality over there. 1 blocker for South Africa, but Hussegalore, no bother, comes through and grabs a very fast lead thanks to some beautiful offense there from who else but Viking at the front of the pack.
Yeah, and hit out by 4-4 Susie Quattro made the Norwegian jammer call off the jam like, well, it's not worth it risking any points against going in, so I better call it. I mean, we have 5 minutes more to play at this game on this day, so why risking anything?
There's no need to risk it. We don't need it. We don't need it. But what we do need is potentially some more roller derby gear. So why not get yourself over to the Sucker Punch Skate Shop, the biggest roller derby shop in Europe. Fast shipping, large stock, expert advice at the best price. SuckerPunchSkateShop.com.
Oh, Torture now already gained lead status to be out from everyone, but then due to a hit from South African blocker, after exiting the pack, straddled, so they took they went back, recycled, better be safe than sorry, but now they're out as well. However, I think that's a pretty good awareness of where you are, and even if you had lead status, you could get a track card penalty right away. So, well, Selfire still in the mix, so it's Torture who can make points here, looking a little bit of help from the friends, doesn't get it, has to fight for South African tripod there in the front.
Yeah, that last pass there, Torture seemed to have a bit of an easier ride, doing their own sort of offense at the front. Second pass round, or just on that last pass, sorry, we did see South Africa getting that tripod back into play. And what I must say about South Africa, and of course I think we are safe to say who's very likely to win this game, is where they've perhaps made the odd mistake, like they've let the jammer pass or something like that. They've corrected it as much as they can, course correct as we would call it at work, where you can see that rather than just let it go on and on and on, and it's heartbreaking when you watch, whether it's your team or the team you support or not, just letting the jammer run round. So fair play, they've corrected. And I love it. So
we have a team timeout brought to you by Crash Course for South Africa here, with 3 minutes on the board to play. Well, I think if you still have timeouts, why not use them and like to gather everyone, to bring everyone on the same page for the, I would say, like two maximum 3 jams that are left, and like bring out the best what you still have in your pockets.
I love it. Bring out the best. And while talking about best, why don't I tell you about Roller Derby House? They've been supporting Roller Derby from the track and into your screen. Thank you to Roller Derby House. Visit rollerderbyhouse.com for your next gear upgrade. Love a bit of that. And a big thank you, of course, to you all that have joined us from home or work, if you're, because it's still Thursday, isn't it? So I assume there will be some people around the country, work laptop on, cheeky phone in the corner, maybe a tablet, double screening, maybe you're just going to close a window if the boss walks in. But I love your commitment to the game. Obviously, don't forget to get your end of day report done. I don't want anyone getting fired.
And stay hydrated.
And stay hydrated. Maybe crack a window open if you haven't already. But don't forget your sunscreen either. There's a whole load of things we could go through.
Wear sunscreen.
Always wear sunscreen, and always get a lovely tripod together, like we can see both of our teams doing here. I love the defense of this jam. Very nice stuff. Sadly, Bugoff is the victim of the beautiful defense, but has made themselves through the pack, as we see number 6, that is
Djokovic
as your lead for Norway.
And calling it off again on time, securing the only 3 points here. Well, only, just, you know what I mean.
Don't be greedy now. Don't be greedy now.
Yeah, no, don't be. Yeah, that's good. I mean, don't be greedy. It's 3-0 rather than like 4-3 or something. Because the score ratio is also playing into the seeding for the next days.
Ah, very clever.
Yeah. So, and the score ratio of 3-0 is very better than 4-3.
Feline at the back of the pack there on a massive hit on BB Skate. BB Skate popping straight back up again, ever so springy, and back up. But they are at the back of the pack, while Kiki Longskates is at the front of the pack for Norway, coming through and grabbing lead as we are into the last 1 minute 50 on the period clock. Let's see what the last couple of minutes do bring for us. So BB Skate at the back of the pack, being held up by Feline once more. Last line of defence comes round the outside. I think Norway perhaps a touch distracted as they wanted to go back in, help clear the path a little bit to allow Kiki Longskates to come through with 8 points already on the board. All right, then, Mia, I think we will be having our potential last jam. We only have 1 minute and 11 on the period clock. We have 2 of South Africa sat down in the Sisugard penalty box, so Norway really will be dominating the track in this jam, as we have an official review called by South Africa. Speculate amongst yourselves what it could be about. It's obviously not for us to say. What would we know? But you and the dog have a chat about what you think's just happened.
I don't have a clue, to be honest. Here there was not, for me at least, no situations that stood out where I would say like bring the other jammer to a penalty box to gain an advantage here, or to erase your own teammates' penalty at some point. Well, I can only speculate. I mean, it's a last clock stoppage that South Africa has. So Well, let's put it like that. It happened to me once or twice that they pick one situation to make an official review to give the team a break, you know, and give everyone a task to think about. But I wouldn't assume that it's happened here. So do you have an idea what it could be about?
I really don't, to be honest. So we will wait and see. There was quite a lot of action happening over in the corner. So whether there was a cut, whether there was a back block or something that has been missed or wrongly given. There is 2 members of South Africa sat in the Sisu Guards penalty box. So it could be that the team are trying to overturn one of those penalties to spring one of the blockers back out of the track and not give Norway such an advantage in this potential last jam of the game.
More blockers on track are more blockers on track.
More blockers, so that's what we want.
Yeah, more bricks in the wall that a jammer has to fight against.
And we can see from our wonderful officials that they've definitely come to some arrangement. There's definitely some scribbling down on the notebook there by Jean-Claude. But let's see what it brings us. And we're just treated to some lovely footage of all of our skaters there as they prepare for this final jam. So it sounds like South Africa were asking for a cut track on the Norwegian jammer, but as you can see, after some deliberation, the officials said that that call will not stand, so we will carry on as we were. And we are in a power jam situation for Norway. Slamela Andersen going to the Sisu Guards penalty box, which means Hussy Galore is your only jammer on the track for potentially, Mia, this last jam.
Yes. I mean, as it was, right, when Slamela Andersen was on their initial, so they were also coming back from the penalty box, not score points right away.
Yeah.
So you have 5 to 50 seconds more, depending on how good your defense is working, to score points on your own, and then also to run the period clock down, which is now around 5 seconds. So Norway is already standing, cheering to their own team.
The period clock has now ended, so this is all we're going to get, folks, as Hussy Galore comes through. Already picked up 12 points in that jam, comes past her team bench, calls off the jam, and there is a rapturous round of applause here in the house at track number 5, the House of Bruisers, the home of the Fearless Bruisers from Innsbruck, Austria. And that is your unofficial score. So we have South Africa with 83 points, Norway with 261 points, and we are just panning in across the skaters, and look at all the smiles on their faces, and we look to that, and then you can
smile
see
on our faces as well.
I'm sure you'd rather see the skaters, but here we are. What a fantastic game here. Everybody gets one game today, so all the teams get their first game today. I think both teams are going to be very happy with their performance. I'm sure South Africa would have loved to have got more points on the board, but I think they absolutely put their all in. As I said, they were course correcting as they went through. Norway as well, they were looking at little areas that they could make improvements on. So I think
they kept South Africa scoreless for 7 or longer jams. So they were really great work by Norwegian's defense.
Definitely.
It's not only the jammers who makes the points, right? It's also the defense that holds the other jammer. It's a team.
It's a team sport, and it's not called that for no reason. And I'm sure when we see these two teams playing again, whoever they get this afternoon, tomorrow, because we don't know yet. I mean, someone's probably worked it out, but I certainly don't. We will get to see that beautiful course correction in action. It has been wonderful to have you here with us, so thank you for spending your time here on track 5. The House of Bruisers, brought to you by the Fearless Bruisers of Innsbruck, Austria, for the 2025 Roller Derby World Cup. I have been very cheery. It's been my absolute pleasure to call my first ever game with Mia, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. We've been produced by the wonderful Loud and Queer. We will be back with you shortly. There is a bit of a time delay because the game before this one ran over, so please keep an eye on your screen. And we will be back with you for, I believe it is West Indies versus Chinese nations. It's 1-2 watch, so hydrate, sun cream, bit of dinner, and we'll see you shortly. Thank you very much.
See you soon. Thank you so much. And, well, enjoy the rest of the day at the Roller Derby World Cup here in Innsbruck, Austria.